Hello, welcome back. So in this video we will be learning about the SCCM client. What is SCCM client, how it is installed, what are the important advantage of SCCM client, what's the important role that it play in the infrastructure, how you can deploy the SCCM client from the SCCM, the deployment method, where exactly the location where it got installed. We'll learn about the log files, as well as we will try to install the SCCM client manually also, in case if there is a requirement that you can't do it from the SCCM, or for a troubleshooting purpose if you want to install it manually, that can be done. So let's understand what is the SCCM client first, and then we will pick it from there. So System Center Configuration Manager is simply known as SCCM client, and the agent that got installed in your device within your organization networks, that enable you to centralized management and administration through SCCM infrastructure. So in this scenario, what a SCCM agent or SCCM client or a small software get installed on your devices, on your servers, which help the SCCM administrators to deploy critical management task, IT management tasks, such as in that might including software deployment, software updates, update management, like patches, configuration management. You can do it. You can do the inventory tracking and the remote administration, and a lot of stuff that can be done from uh, SCCM. So basically, to manage the SCCM environment or your organization, it's mandatory that you have a healthy and active SCCM client installed on your machine, so that that can be managed. So the first point that comes is agent based architecture. So it's a agent based, as I told earlier, that there will be an agent that's a lightweight software agent that will got installed on each of the devices, and that each machine, wherever that client is installed on that machine, will be sending or fetching or exchanging the data from the SCCM. So this is called as agent based architecture. So as we know that as soon communication with SCCM and centralized management. So as soon the SCCM client get installed, SCCM agent will start communicating with the management point and with the SCCM. So this will help to keep the machine, or the SCCM, or the SCCM will send the instructions and the client will receive the instructions in the form of policies, software updates, and with the regular reporting or inventory or state information. The SCCM servers keep up to date, and a centralized management can be done from the SCCM. So this is the example of centralized management. Software deployment, as we know, as soon the client is installed, so we can deploy the software on that machine. So within the network, you can deploy any kind of softwares that is packaged and updated or distributed to the or nearest distribution point. And if you wanted to schedule that, you can schedule those update as well. So that's the example of software deployment. You can update the patching. Patch management is known as patching. So you can deploy the latest update and keep your environment up to date, so that the bad actors cannot the environment can be saved from the bad actors. So patch management, very important. Configuration management. The SCCM client enforce configuration management settings and policies, so that you can have a baseline policies that can be deployed. So with that, you can actually manage the configuration policies as well. Then we have inventory tracker or inventory collection. So SCCM client collect the hardware and software inventory from the managed devices, including details such as hardware specifications, installed softwares and applications, and system configuration. This inventory data is sent to the SCCM servers for the asset management and the license compliance and the reporting purpose. Now, the next is remote management and compliance and reporting. So SCCM client enable remote management for the devices that allow administrator to perform certain tasks, such as they can take the remote and troubleshoot of the software installations, configuration changes, and without requiring a physical person to be accessed at that location. Suppose I am sitting at the head office branch in London, and I have another office which is in Manchester. And in case something went wrong and the end user need any help, so what I can do, I can take the control from the machine, from my SCCM server, from the machine for the machine which is there on Manchester. So without having the so without personally visiting at the user's desk, we can actually troubleshoot it. And compliance and reporting, we can actually get a regular interval of reporting and compliance, whether our machines are meeting the requirement, and the reporting can be done in terms of patching deployment, software deployment, and other deployment as well. So this was the example and some key feature of the SCCM client. Let's jump into the lab and let's see how the SCCM client can look like, and how where it is got installed on the C drive or any drive, and what are the logs. So we are on our SCCM server. So if I click on devices, you will find that there are some number of devices which is visible. So you will find a noticeable difference that on DC server 1 you will see a green check mark is there. That means this machine has an active SCCM client and it is sending the DDR. And if I see the client, the status says yes. That means this machine has SCCM client. Currently logged on user, whatever the user that is logged on to this device, that information will be reflected or what site code that is it is assigned, and what is the client activity status. The client can be active and it can be inactive. In case client is not connected to the network for more than 2 week, that SCCM will make that client as inactive. That means the client is not getting communicated to the SCCM. So on the machine, if you wanted to see how the SCCM client got installed on it, if you want to see how the SCCM agent look like and what are the features, let's connect to our domain server, because on SCCM server CM01 we do not have a SCCM client. So what we will do, we will try to install the SCCM client manually on this machine, and we'll see that. So let's connect to the domain controller, the domain controller we have, and this is the domain controller. So if I go on start button and search for software center, yeah, you can see it's already there on the top. So this is the client agent that I was talking about, that got installed on the client machines. So let's click and open it, how the first SCCM client look like. It's the first time it is opening, so it might take a couple of minutes, and it could take time to update because we have never opened the SCCM client till now. Now this is the SCCM client, and you will see there are a couple of options available there. So whatever the application that got deployed will be visible on the application tab. The software update, I mean the patches that got deployed, will be displayed over here. Operating system, in case we are doing in place upgrade or a task sequence deployment, that can be visible over here. Whatever the applications that are installed and what are the status, that status will be visible here. The name of the applications, the publisher, install date, and what is the status. Now in case if you wanted to have your machine with the compliant, that status will be shown over here. If you click check compliance status, it will show you that the machine is compliant and the last check-in date. Now there are some options that if you wanted to change the work information, you can do it over here. If you don't want to apply the power management setting, and if the SCCM has allowed you to do not apply the power management setting, you can do it from here. what are the maintenance window that will be applied over here, and in case when the SCCM user will be taking the SCCM administrator will be taking the remote of the control machines, what are the features or what are the access, what kind of access he will be getting will be shown over here. Now in the backend, I wanted to show you one more thing on the control panel. If I go to the control panel, you will find, if I open the control panel, and you will find the agent is also there, a component is there called configuration manager. If I open it, so whenever SCCM client got installed, you will find a component on the control panel items. So now on the journal tab, you will find the basic information about the management point, from where it is getting connected, this client certificate type, the co-management capabilities, whether it is managed by co-management or not, and what is the capability. If co-management is enabled or not, co-management enable of or not is means whether you can manage this device from Intune or not. Some of the workload can be shared with the Intune or not. Connection type, currently connected to intranet, and this could be internet. If we have a CMG, cloud management gateway, this can be managed from internet. Suppose CMG mean is if you have an active CMG, and if you are working from home without connecting to the VPN, you can actually deploy the softwares to the client machines. So this is the site code where the SCCM is getting connected. This is the unique identifier, the GUID name, and this is the client version. So if I go to the component, these are the component which play at the backend very important role, that which is enabled, what are the installed directories. uh, so these are the components that are running on the backend. So this is the action tab. The action tabs run the action cycle in the backend, so that individually configuration, mm, the schedule configuration in the configuration manager controls can be done. If suppose in case I am deploying an soft application on this machine, so this cycles needs to be run to get the active policies as soon as possible. So whenever you come here and run, you will find that noticeable difference that the machines are started getting update. So this hardware inventory cycle is basically manageable, is basically responsible for updating the hardware inventory from this machines to the SCCM. So this is for that, and so on. If I go to the site, you will find that there is a site code which is available by default. You will not be able to update it. However, when you click on configuration settings, and it will allow you to change the site. And if you have the now you have remember that when we have extended the SCCM schema, so in case the SCCM schema is not extended on the Active Directory and we find the device, this will not be automatically getting the client assigned. So it is very important when we, I mean, this is one of the example why we extend the SCCM schema. And if you wanted to change this, if you have a multiple site hierarchy, you can actually change it from here. So if you want a DNF suffix to be presented of the management point, you can actually give it over here. These are the cache. What are the cache management? We will talk about the cache. I mean, whenever a software get installed, or if you wanted to deploy, that software will actually get saved on your local machine into the C drive. I will show you the location. Onto C, my system will go to my system. I will go on to Windows, and you will find a folder called CCM cache. This is the folder where the SCCM temp storage will be. This is the SCCM temp storage. You can say it whenever you deploy an application. That application will push from the SCCM, and that will get stored locally on this machine. And from this machine, that will get installed and run locally. So this is what the cache is. If you wanted to change the behavior, you will be able to do it from the SCCM. And this is the network in case you have any proxy that required, and if you want to your content to be downloaded from the proxy, then this is very important. Now let's talk about the SCCM, where the SCCM client got installed. So if I go to Windows, if I go to whenever the SCCM client got installed, these are the three basic folders that got created automatically. The first is CCM. So these have some important folders or some agent, CI agent inventory data will get stored over here. What are the backup policies? What are the monitoring logs, inventory? These got saved onto here. Now this is the CCM cache folder where the the deployment got saved or cached in this location, and this is the SCCM setup folder. So from here, the client software is got saved over here, and this is the log file where if you wanted to see what when the client was updated, in case we re-updated the client, these information will get saved into here. So if I go into CCM logs, these are the logs file that we can monitor it while doing it, while doing any kind of deployment or any kind of troubleshooting. These are the important logs to do it. So now if I try to open, let's open a software, let's open a SCCM agent. There will be a client log called CI agent. Yeah, this is the. So if you see that, you will not be it automatically open in the notepad, and this is not in a readable format. It's very difficult you to read this file. Sorry, I think I have closed it. Let's open it again. So it is not in a readable format. However, but SCCM has given you a tool called CM Trace. If I search it, CM Trace, yeah, it's there. And I will click on yes. And now if I click and open it again, it will be open on CM Trace agent. And now if I click allow it, so that it will always open on CM Trace log file. And now you will see the noticeable difference that now you can read the file. Let's see CI agent startup. This is the component which is running in the backend, the time and the threshold. So if you open any update, suppose I have deployed software update, so I will update deployment. This is the log, one of the important log which we consider while doing it. So you can see as of now there is evaluation update action is 0, total update actionable update is 0. That means there is no update is required, or no update is there on this machine which is needed to be required or that we have deployed. So this is how you can study the logs. Now let's try to install the SCCM client on one machine manually and on one machine from the SCCM, so that you have a better understanding. So I have three machines running as GW1, DC1 and CM1. DC1 I have already installed. On CM1 I have not installed the SCCM client. Let's do one thing. Let's jump into the CM1 and install the SCCM client manually. So we are on the SCCM server, and I can see the SCCM client is not installed. So to install the SCCM client, we will be requiring the SCCM agent that we have to run it. So what we will do, we will find the server. We can on the server C drive where the SCCM is installed. It would be on C program management, and you will find the client agent over here. So this is the SCCM agent that is saved on that the that is saved on your primary site or the secondary site. So if I wanted to run this, what I will do, I will copy it and I will open a run command, and I will open it as administrator. Let's open a run command. I will run it as administrator. Okay, so I will cd slash, I will give the name. Now you will find the different cap files and applications file installed. So the application that we required to install is CCM setup. So what we will do, we will type ccm setup.exe. Now we will give a space slash install install. So before we hit the install, let go into the C drive, and you will find on the Windows folder we do not have those three folders that I have shown you earlier: CCM, CCM setup, and CCM cache. So as soon I click on install or hit the enter button, you will find that within 1 minute, yeah, SCCM setup is there. See, is there. Now if we go to the task manager, and if I search for CM trace, you can see this is the cm setup.exe that is running in the backend. So it will take around 3-4 minutes to run and to get the SCCM installed. So what I will do, I will open a CM trace. If I have on this machine, yes, I have a CM trace. I will open it and let's see the logs. Let's trace the installation from the log file. So what I will do, it's as you can see it's installing, and it is consuming it 5.5 MB and 2 point and 3 point something as a CPU utilization. So we'll refresh it and we'll go to the CCM setup, and into the log file you can find the setup folder, and you can see that if I go at the top, it has actually started the SCCM client setup with the version. This is the version, and this is, and here you can find that that it is downloading the latest SCCM updates. The file is getting updated. You have created a CCM setup services, and after some time at the end, and you will find download is completed. Now let's go down and check the status once again. So now if I go back to the logs, I will find the CCM setup exit code with the run code 0. That means the SCCM client is successfully installed. And if I go and open control panel, you will find in component that I have a configuration manager over here. Also, if I go on the software center, you will find that software center is there on the start button. Let's go and do some basic configuration, because automatically it will take some time to get the details, or it start fetching the details from the SCCM. You, as if you see, you will see that the site is not there and the other things are not there. Even the other tabs are not available there. Only in action tab we only have uh, two policies that needs to be run. Let's go back on SCCM console and see whether it's we can see any changes over there or not. Still we can see SCCM CM01, the client is no and nothing is there. So you can actually expedite this method if you know how to do it. You just need to run this update. You have to update that run machine policies, retrieval and evaluation cycle, and user policies. Just run it once, close it, open the software center once, and once it is open you have to close it. I mean, this is one of the method that I used to do it when I was doing it. So now if you close it and if you open the configuration manager once again and you run this, it will take, now it will start getting this information very quickly, and within 1 to 2 minutes you will start finding the noticeable difference on CM01 that this client got installed over here. Let's wait for 1 to 2 minutes, and so now you can see I have it. I mean, on the SCCM console there is a small icon that has changed from nothing to a question mark. And if I go to the control panel, let's go to the control panel and see if we have get further more. No, we have not received anything. Let's run it once more. It's been 1 minute now. And if I click on refresh, let me check. Okay, it's still in CM01. Let me check if it has got the site or not, because it's look like it's got the site because this icon has changed it. Yeah, you can see now I have started getting the everything in the policies action tab discovery. Let's run it once so that it can quickly start updating the DDR and software inventory. I will run all of these once. Let me quickly do it and then we can site chq01. Other tabs are also there, but still it's not updated, so it will take a little 5 to 10 minutes to do it. If I go and refresh, I think it will change. Yeah, you can see it is yes, now it is installed. Yes, chq active, and let's give a refresh once again. So this is how the SCCM client installation is done manually. However, there is another method which we can use, that is the client push installation method. For that you have to configure the SCCM client push installation method. Let me show you that one also. Go to the administration and go to site hierarchy, not site hierarchy, go to site, right click on it and properties, and here we go, not on properties, here we go. So this is the client push installation method and the software update based installation method. So this is, let's click on client push installation method. So this is the first option, that it will automatically push the client. It will including server, workstation and configuration site as well if I click on it. And this is the account that will be used, and this is the site code that it would automatically will installed. So it will automatically can install or push it from here. So if I go and if I try to push it on app01, I need to go on, you will find an option to client install. Click on client install. Next, allow first option. I mean, it will allow to install a domain controller, allow the installation of client and assign the site. Click next, next, and finish. So now this can take up to 5-10 minutes based on the bandwidth and the latency requirement. What is the latency? And after some time you will be able to find that this like CM01 is now green. You will find the changes over here as well, and the SCCM client will automatically got installed. Now that's all about the SCCM client. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.